2025 budget plan compared with a year earlier after post-election unrest dented growth as well as revenues. South African investment analysts and mining industry insiders are betting that the country's position as a leading producer of platinum group metals, which are widely used in hydrogen fuel cell and emission production technologies, will offset the pain inflicted by US tariffs targeting other South African exports. Zambia held a vibrant parade Thursday in the capital, Lusaka, celebrating International Labour Day and honoring the global contribution of workers. Almost like clockwork since mid-November, Tesla Incorporated board chair Robin Denholm has been selling the company's stock. During that time, shares whipsawed and the company's sales slowed and then cratered around the world. And a deal to give the United States exclusive access to Ukraine's mineral resources has sparked contention among Ukrainian experts who have described earlier drafts of the agreement as unacceptable and colonial. Of course, we take a look at these stories in detail here on The Mint. The Mint will be right back. Don't go anywhere. You're watching The Mint as we come to you live from Zimbabwe's capital, Harare. I'm Ibe Mabunda. Now we take a look at our stories in detail. The International Labour Organization, in collaboration with the African Development Bank and the Zimbabwean government, is stepping up efforts to modernize curricula at universities and polytechnic institutions. The initiative comes after concerns were raised by industry players about a mismatch between graduate skills and market demands. We give you more in the following report.
As the workplace is rapidly changing due to advances in technology and other factors, training institutions must equally adapt and respond to changing industry needs. The International Labour Organization has crafted a skills development program designed to respond to concerns raised by industry players about a mismatch between graduate skills and market demands.
I think one of the key areas that the UN agencies are looking into is skills development. So, for example, with ILO, we are partnering with AFDB. AFDB is looking into skills employability as well. So even with the national curriculums and with the TVETs, we're making sure that it aligns with the skills gap so that the students are trained according to the skills match that is out in the world of work.
Running from 2025 to 2027, the two-year program will adopt a multi-stakeholder approach, bringing together business leaders, academics, and policymakers to ensure that skills training become more relevant and responsive to economic needs. Other UN agencies, including UNDP and UN Women, are part of the program, which is also stretching out to students at vocational training centers. Priority areas include modernizing course content, strengthening practical training, and aligning education pathways with growth sectors like manufacturing, ICT, agriculture, and engineering.
Together with AFDB, we've just started a project from 2025 that will roll out into 2027. What we're trying to do is to make sure that we empower our youth according to the skills gap, and then we through the TVET national curriculum, we're going into the different TVETs to make sure that their curriculum actually aligns with the skills gap that we have out there. So our youth are empowered to be able to be absorbed by the world of work.
The Curriculum Development Initiative forms part of wider efforts to ensure Zimbabwe's education system produces graduates who are ready to meet local and global market expectations. Skills development extends beyond tertiary institutions as various UN agencies are training communities on sustainable livelihoods, imparting skills that help communities thrive while reducing carbon footprints. UNDP Program Manager for Climate Adaptation, Water and Energy Projects, Solomon Mutambara, said sustainability is at the core of their work.
We operate through business models, just to promote sustainability. If it is farming, it is through a business model where farmers need to embrace farming as a business. If it is the solar or renewable energy development, like the development of solar mini-grids and biogas, is still done through a business model to ensure that we can actually attract private sector investment.
As the country looks to industrialization and innovation for future growth, targeted skills development could provide the bridge between the classroom and the economy. For ZTN Prime, I'm Andile Chuma in Bulawayo.
Andile, thank you for giving us that report. Now, the horticulture sector continues its upward trajectory, with macadamia nuts leading the charge and recording an impressive 77% increase in export receipts, signaling a robust recovery and rebound. The economic importance and demand for macadamia nuts on the world market are on the rise, driven by growing consumer awareness of their health benefits and increasing demand for plant-based diets. The global macadamia market size was valued at $1.58 billion in 2022 and is anticipated to expand at a compound annual growth rate of 9.3% from 2023 to 2030. Macadamia nuts are a rich source of monosaturated fat, antioxidants, and essential nutrients, making them a popular choice among health-conscious consumers. Their versatility in culinary uses, from snacking to gourmet applications, has also contributed to their growing demand. The Asia-Pacific region is a significant driver of demand, with China emerging as the world's largest consumer of macadamia nuts. The region's growing food and beverage industry, with its demand for high-quality ingredients, is also boosting macadamia nut exports from Zimbabwe. In 2024, the country shipped an impressive 1,620 tons of macadamia nuts to various export markets, which include the European Union, China, South Africa, and the United Arab Emirates. The majority of macadamia nuts are produced in Manicaland's Eastern Highlands region, Honde Valley, Chimanimani, and Chipinge, where the crop thrives well due to favorable soils and climatic conditions. Horticulture Development Council Chief Executive Officer Linda Nelson attributed the growth to increased investment from both small-scale and commercial farmers, demand of the product on the international market, increased farmer support, research and development. Now, the Think 20 Africa High-Level Dialogue took place in Pretoria, the administrative capital of South Africa, on Tuesday and Wednesday, bringing together policymakers, think tank representatives, academics and international partners to advance African perspectives within the group of 20 and other international policy bodies. The T20 seeks to ensure that Africa's voice is not only heard but integrated into the G20's working agenda, serving as a vital platform for shaping the African continent's influence in global governance. Key themes included leveraging the continent's young population, promoting the African Continental Free Trade Area, and addressing systemic challenges such as unemployment. On the sidelines of the two-day conference, Alvin Bothays, South Africa's Deputy Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, stressed the importance of unlocking Africa's full potential for boosting global development, including the realization of sustainable development goals.
The G20 presidency of South Africa comes amidst the realization that only 17% of the Sustainable Development Goals has indeed any trade package that obviously does not seek to harness the African potential will obviously have a negative consequence on our own economic fortunes. I think South Africa have always subscribed to the fact that you need both your developing South and your more industrialized North for us to, ensure the economic dividends of South Africa and the African continent are able to be harnessed.
The dialogue was organized by the South African Institute of International Affairs, the Institute for Global Dialogue, the University of Johannesburg's Institute for Pan-African Thought and Conversation, and the African Union Development Agency. South Africa assumed the G20 presidency on December 1st, 2024, which will run through November 2025. The T20 is an official G20 engagement group that brings together think tanks and research institutions from G20 members, guest countries, and organizations. Time to take a breather after the break. Mozambique cut spending by 9% in its 2025 budget plan compared with a year earlier after post-election arrest dented growth and revenues. The men to be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Didn't graduate. I guess I blew it.
You couldn't advise him anything. He would just look at you and say, so who do you think you are?
We were just like really spoiled.
And then they just give me the receipt and I'd pay.
The guy walks in one day and then he says that he wants to make a movie.
He was blowing the money.
There was just like this habit that he had where as soon as he got money, it was gone.
I just didn't have the skills or the experience.
This money, I could see it disappear so fast.
You're watching The Mint as we come to you from Zimbabwe's capital, Harare. I'm Ibe Mabunda. Now, Mozambique cut spending by 9% in its 2025 budget plan compared with a year earlier after post-election unrest dented growth and revenues. The Council of Ministers approved a 512 billion metikash, the equivalent of $8 billion, spending plan for this year, the government said in a statement on Tuesday. That compares with 567 billion metikash in the 2024 budget. The plan will be presented to legislators who will need to approve it and pass it into law. Revenues were seen at 385.87 billion metikash and the fiscal deficit at 126 billion metikash, for about 8.2% of the gross domestic product. The state-owned Noticias newspaper reported on Wednesday, citing Inocencio Impisa, spokesperson for the Council of Ministers. The economy is forecast to grow 2.9% according to that publication. Well, that's a wrap on The Mint today. Do follow us on our social media handles at Zane Papers TV Network as well as at ZTN Prime. I'm Ibe Mabunda, the Money Man. Let them do what they do. When we do what we do, we mean business. Thank you for watching and have a good day.